right, guys, we're running a little bit late because we had a charging cable situation. I need somebody to type out, yes, we can hear you, and we will get it started. Type out, yes, we can hear you. All right, winner, chicken dinner. It's Jen. And then Nicole, close second. All right, guys, we're going to get started. What did you say? Thank you. Yeah.
The Troy Show, episode 36. It's May 21st, 2021. Take one.
All right, everybody. Let's get this started. How was everybody's week? I hope you had a great week. And I hope you have an even better weekend coming up.
We're going to have an awesome weekend.
Yep. Last week wasn't too bad either.
No.
So this is a little bit of a different location. And we are going to have probably some noise interference just naturally. But because it's also not going to sound the same, I just need to make sure that you guys can hear me before I continue from this distance. Can anybody hear me? Anybody in Facebook land? Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, they can hear you.
Okay. All right, we're going to get started. I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, to bring me a piece of wood, a flat piece of wood about this. If you can just, if it's right there. If it's not, then don't worry about it. I kind of feel like I'm too far away, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll do the best I can. I have quite a few things to talk about tonight. First off, as you can see, my co-host is not here tonight. He is currently driving en route to New York. I don't know if that's going to be light enough for this chair, but let's try. It's just going to be the back, but that's fine. Yeah, it's better. So he's on his way to New York, and
Yeah, that's good.
he's on his way to New York, and we're actually probably not going to speak with him tonight on the show, but next week we will have him on the show in some form if we've been able to figure out the live video or by phone, whatever.
Jen said loser. LOL.
So, just name me a few people that are watching that I'm going to recognize the name real quick.
Jen, Jean, Wally, Nick, Sabrina, Cheryl, Richard, your mom, Laura's mom, Nicole.
That's good. Again, this show's going to be a little bit different. But I want to first say something to you people. Good people. How dare any of you? How dare you tell me your problems? You know what I'm going through, and my problems are way worse than your problems. You don't have a right to be upset about your problems. Live a minute in my shoes. Your problems are insignificant. It's only my problems that matter. Can you imagine if somebody told you that? Can you imagine how you would feel? What if it was a stranger? Worse yet, what if it was somebody you knew, a family member, a friend, the guy at the grocery store? Would it hurt your feelings? It would. It hurt mine. Everybody has problems. And the level or degree of seriousness of that problem is not up to you for interpretation. It's up to the person that has those problems. So what might seem like the end of the world to you with your scenario might not seem like it's the end of the world to someone else, and vice versa, but it doesn't mean that you're not going through the same thing. You've heard the old saying, misery loves company. I don't think that's necessarily true in a lot of stories like this. I think what it is, or what it should be, is survivors need to be around survivors. If somebody's going through something and you don't understand it, and you're going through something they don't understand, you're both getting through it. Isn't it easier to get through it together? Shouldn't you acknowledge their problems properly, with all due respect? Shouldn't you look them in the eye, hear their problem, absorb it, and legitimately think about how you can help? Yes, help. Even when you're dealing with your own problems, you can help other people. You may not have the money to help them. You may not have the means to help them. But you always have something that you can offer to them to help. And it's more valuable to them than you'll ever know. And that's love, respect, empathy, sympathy, care, company, companionship. That's free. You already have those things. You say, well, Troy, you do a whole show ripping on people. True. I'm not God. I don't have the right to judge people and to determine what their afterlife will be. But I feel I do at least a little bit of good by exposing it. With the good I do, I'm fully aware of the bad or the evil that I do with it. And I accept that. I even accept it to the point of knowing that someday I could quite possibly be judged for it. But to me, it's worth it. It's how I express things. It's how I get attention to things that need attention. I said in my post earlier, and I've said it probably 5 or 6 times already on the show in the past, I try to avoid the subjects of politics and religion. But politics have come up before, and so has religion. But tonight, no matter your political view, no matter your religious view, I ask that you stick with me for a few minutes and let me explain how I feel. How I feel about a lot of things, including religion and God. And what I believe religion or faith truly is. In my post earlier today, I told you that many men of God have influenced my life or impacted my life. But only 3 of those men of God impacted me in a positive light. And I guess I could interpret it and say, well, they had the same point of view I had. But I don't think that's it. I think they're onto something. Something I've believed in forever. Well, those 3 men are Clint Brown, Father Gregory, which I guess is now Bishop Gregory,
Yes.
and Pastor Rick from Claremont Family Christian Center. I don't know if any of the 3 men know each other. I don't know that. I know one of them told me, yes, I know the other, but I don't know if they have like a relationship. The third one, I think it would be pretty hard for him to know any of these 3 men because he is a very devout Catholic priest turned bishop. And I think they keep separate. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know hardly anything about Catholicism, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're very social creatures. I have no idea. I said that though to say this. Even if they did know each other, the time span of these 3 stories are so significant that I just find it hard to believe that that any of it was deliberate. Right? It would be an astronomical anomaly. So the first one, we're going to go back 20 years. My wife and my sister-in-law Lisa invited me to go to a church with them in Orlando. Well, when I got there, I was a little overwhelmed with the amount of people. And given my prior history and animosity towards Jerry Savelle and Kenneth Copeland, I was apprehensive. But I went in, and I was not in a good place mentally, right? Going through a few things. And I sit down, and I was already just not going to hear this sermon. I just wasn't going to do it. But then, Pastor Clint Brown, or Reverend, I don't know what he goes by, he gets up there, and now listen, I love black gospel music, and that's exactly what it was, Southern black gospel music, and it was wonderful. So that part of the sermon I liked. But then when he got up there to start speaking, I flipped the switch, and I just wasn't even going to listen to him. But he caught me off guard because he says, tonight I'm going to preach about what I believe to be one of the most important things in the eyes of the Lord. Responsibility. Now, I've told you this story before, but I haven't gone in this deep a detail with it. He says, this is what what responsibility means to me. It's 2 parts, response and ability. What is your ability to respond to a situation for another human being? Do you have the ability to run into the fire and grab them? If you have the ability to do that, then that is your responsibility, and you need to do that. But if you don't have the ability to do that, and all you can do is care for the person when they come out of the fire, so that that person can return into the fire to grab the next person, then that is your responsibility. But we all have responsibility, no matter our age, our financial situation, our religion, our sexual preference, our political preference. We all have the ability to respond to someone else's needs. Maybe that someone is a stranger, and you buy them a meal. But instead of just buying it and going, you sit down and eat with them so that they also have company. Because the company is probably going to mean more to them than the food. Or what if that person is your spouse? And you're angry at them. You're angry at each other. And you know that person's probably in as much pain as you are. You say, well, why should I respond to them with whatever ability I have? Because they're not doing it to me. Because even if that person's not doing it to you, first, it's your responsibility, just like it's that person's responsibility, to be the bigger person, take the responsibility, and react. Now, that might be a bit hypocritical of me, because me and my wife, we don't fight. We don't argue. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
We have our disagreements, and they're very quickly worked out because we talk them out. If we didn't talk and we split up in the room, one on one side, one on the other, nothing gets fixed, nothing gets solved individually. But if you get together as two, you can problem solve. You can give. You can take. You can ask for forgiveness and forgive. So two of you can solve it, but one of you alone typically cannot. Let's move on to Bishop Gregory. When I first met Bishop Gregory, he was Father Gregory, and he was Father Gregory of Corpus Christi Catholic Church in Celebration, Florida, which at the time was held in the cafeteria of the Celebration Elementary School.
High school.
I walked in for the first time with my wife and her family. Again, I'm not Christian, or I'm not Catholic, but when you're married to a Catholic, you do Catholic things sometimes, right? Part of the give and the take. And their Christmas service is very entertaining. When I walked into this Catholic church set up in a high school auditorium, or where you eat, cafeteria, I thought, oh boy, here we go. Just like I did with Clint Brown, I walked into that building with a negative attitude that I wasn't going to listen, I wasn't going to learn anything. The room was surrounded by all these flags from these different countries, and so I got kind of into looking at these flags and everything, and the next thing I know, this massive mountain of a man comes walking out, all of 12 feet tall, fingers like bananas, but the biggest teddy bear smile you've ever seen, greeting all his people, right? And I was impressed by that, but I was even more impressed when the man started to speak. It was mesmerizing. I can't tell you what that first sermon was about. I probably can't tell you what the first few were about. But I can tell you that the Christmas Eve or Christmas Day service or Mass, whatever it's called, I walked in and I was holding Troy in a baby carriage, a car seat. And I set him down, and Father Gregory passed by and looked at him and smiled and kept going. And that was that sermon that stuck with me forever. And he talked about the needs of others. Even when you feel you have nothing to give, even if you believe giving would be at your detriment, you still give, because it's one of the most important things to God. So now this is two people, two men of God saying this, two very well respected men of God saying this, years apart. How old was Paige when Troy was born?
5.
5. So that was 5 years apart. Now let's go 20 years down the line to the next one. A few days ago, I was complaining and venting to a friend of mine on the phone. Now, I've been friends with this guy for a while, not too terribly long, but long enough to know this. I didn't know he was a pastor when I met him. I was under the assumption that he did something else for a living and kind of correlated. But after having known him for a while, I found out that he was the preacher or pastor of the Family Christian Center here in Claremont. His name is Rick Ben Wagner. Ben Wagner, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a brain fart.
Hi, Mom.
I don't call him Pastor Rick. I call him Rick because A, I don't go to his church, and B, I knew him as Rick before Pastor. If I was in his church, just like I would anybody else, I would offer the respect of Pastor Rick. So the other day I'm on the phone with Rick, and we're talking, and I'm venting, and he said some words of wisdom, and I said some mumbo jumbo back. And when we got done, he goes, you know, I don't typically like to do this. He's like, but I really would. And it's true, because all this time he's never sent me anything or asked me if I want to watch anything. He said, but would you mind if I send you a video from last Sunday's sermon? And you know, just, you know, I think it applies to your situation. So I said, sure. Again, just like the other two, I went into it with a bit of apprehension. But as I watched it, I thought, how strange is it that these 3 sermons are so identical, and that each of the 3 of them felt the exact moment in time that I needed them to follow. Coincidence? Mathematical anomaly? Maybe. Divine? Possibly. Who knows? I don't care. I know that my faith tells me it was for a reason. So later tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to post a link. Probably tonight, I'm going to post a link to that sermon. But I'm also going to say a few things that he said in it. And the fact that they're so close to the way I believe in God and religion from all 3 of these men of God tells me maybe I have been onto something right. Here's my belief. This is what I believe God wants from you. I believe God, first and foremost, wants you to treat others with love, kindness, and respect. And that goes for the vast majority of you. Just because I choose doesn't mean you have to choose to have 2 sides in you, good and evil. It's hard to find the balance. One side can take over real quickly. If the evil side takes over, that's not good for other people around you and in your life. But if the good side takes over, it's not good for you, because then you're more prone to getting stepped on and abused and pushed around. You've got to find that balance. But treating people good and doing for others in their time of need, even if their time of need is simply a smile in the middle of a bad day, you don't know how much that could mean to somebody. But instead, most of us walk past each other all day long looking down at our cell phones, just hoping we don't run into a pole. Secondly, I believe that God really wants you to use your heart and your soul when making decisions, especially when it comes to harming another human being. Right? Use common sense. Are the Ten Commandments real? Is the Bible real? Or is it something that was created by man to control man? There's theories and beliefs behind all of it. But whatever you believe is what is the truth. So if you believe the Bible is real, the Bible is real. But the person next to you may not believe that. Are you not going to help that person just because their belief is a little bit different than yours? If you believe in the Bible, your number one belief should be that God wants you to do good by others. It doesn't say, depending on whether you have a good day or a bad day, or a good week or a bad week. Maybe somebody doesn't feel the same level of pain you're feeling at the time, but you still should acknowledge their pain and see if you can comfort them even in your time of pain. Until the moment they give you reason to believe that they are the distraction demon sent by evil. We'll get to that in a minute.
Wait, your mom, she wrote Hebrews 13 to be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. And then Matthew 25:40, and the king shall answer and say unto them, verify I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Right. I'll give you a perfect example. I don't want to hear the word moving truck, storage unit, U-Haul, dolly, tape gun, or box forever. I don't want to hear those words again. Because we just had to do it. And then the next weekend, of course, Jim decides he wants to run off to New York and be some fancy head of fire or something, right? We gotta load their shit. We loaded our shit first, then their shit. But if you call me tomorrow, any of you, and say, hey, can you come help me load my shit? I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Chris was there. Chris was there more than I honestly, I can't even get over it. He was there from start to finish. No lie.
All night long.
If you treat me badly and you call me in 2 weeks and you say, I'm having problems with my wife, or I'm having problems with my husband, or I'm having problems at my job, or I'm problems with my landlord, can you help? I'm still going to come help. I may not like it as much since you were treating me bad, but I'm still going to do it. Why? Because it's my responsibility. I cuss, I drink, I smoke. I'm not going to change that. I don't believe, and maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong again, I'll answer for it. But I don't believe any of that defines me as a Christian. I don't believe any of that defines me as a good human being. I even believe that what I do that's bad, or bad, whatever, but I do it in the name of good, it's also justifiable. Like exposing 9 years of child abuse, mental and physical, right? So, if you believe in good, you have to believe in evil. Now, mind you, I didn't say if you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. For those of you that are Christian, that goes without saying. a constant battle between good and evil. Some of us, even, like I said, have to find the fine balance within themselves of the good and evil. But the fight has to take place regardless. Every day you're fighting evil. Every day you're fighting evil. And if you're watching right now and you are evil, then every day you're fighting good, right? I'm an equal opportunity show host. But if you are good and you're fighting evil, then you have to know this. Evil, whether it's Beelzebub, Satan, whoever, evil is its name, and it sends evil or demons, depending on your belief. It sends evil people or demons disguised as people to interfere with your life. There's some sitting in the same town as you right now. For some of you, there may unfortunately even be some sitting in the same room as you right now, or in the same home, the same vehicle. Maybe they're sitting with you at work tomorrow, or school. But these evil people, or these demons, they're real. They exist. They're sent to divide you from the people who were meant for you divinely. Pastor Rick said that God creates certain people to be other certain people's life people. He didn't say it in those exact words. It's a little bit more eloquent. For me and Tracy, that evil people or demons was Paul and Susan Mendens. Notice I didn't say Shanae. Shanae was the evil person or demon sent to my daughter. Not to me. I never respected her. Not one day. I never truly liked her. Not 1 minute. I never truly cared for her. Not 1 second. But she was not my demon. She was my daughter's. Mine and Tracy's were Susan and Paul. And where, as God says, you're stronger in teams, evil says you are more easily defeated by yourself. So he sends these demons in, or these evil people in, to divide you from the good people in your life. Mission accomplished with our demons, temporarily, because we beat the demons, we pulled out of their cycle, saw the follies of our ways, and mended the fences, or mending the fences. There's still some work to go, and rightfully so. These people made me say to my own brother-in-law some things that I would never have said to him ever, that I never truly meant, but because of the bullshit, the lies, the hate that they pumped into my ears, and that Shanae pumped into my daughter's ears, and that they pumped into my wife's ears, I fell for it. So they are our demons. But we beat them, and that's why they hate me so bad. When you beat an evil person, when you beat a demon, they're not going to like you at all. Not that they liked you before, but their animosity, their hatred towards you is going to grow exponentially by the second. And then when you start to expose them to other people for the evil demons that they are, their rage explodes like Mount St. Helens, engulfing everything around them. And they will do anything and everything that they have to do to shut you down. They'll lie about you. They'll attempt to intimidate you. They'll team up with your other enemies because they're chicken shit cowards. And the only way they think they can defeat you is to team up against you. But in reality, wrong. You underestimated me. You underestimated my family and our friends. All you did was fuel the fire, flame the fire, and give us energy to keep going at you. So you didn't do evil. You didn't accomplish evil. Good one, because our family and our friends have united again. And we're stronger because we're a group. But they're dividing people as we speak up there. Even within their own group. Because that's what evil does. Evil doesn't unite. Evil divides. Pastor Rick said that Jesus picked 70 disciples, and he sent they sent them out in pairs of twos to tell people of Jesus and his teaching, and that he was coming to speak to them. And then Pastor Rick says, well, he could have covered way more cities if he just sent them out one. But he sent them out two because more gets accomplished with two. So if more gets accomplished with two, about 4, 8, so on. I am blessed. I'm blessed. I have the best family in the world. I have the best friends in the world. I am blessed. The millionaire sitting in his home right now, the rich man, that's arguing with his wife, that's arguing with his kids, that has no friends that come over because they don't want to be around you when you're fighting and arguing. You're the poor person, not us. Money is not wealth. Money is not riches. People are wealth. Friends, family, those are the riches. So to the rich man sitting in his $1,000 recliner, is that expensive? That may not even be expensive. $5,000 recliner. And me sitting on a fold-up chair. I pity him. I pity him. I mean, I can empathize with him, but I can show him pity, because the one thing that means the most in this life, other people, he doesn't have. And if he does, it's purchased. So no matter what you're going through right now, I want you to know that you never bother me. You never inconvenience me. If you call me and say, Troy, I need some help. I need you to talk to me. I need you to come over right now. I need you to help with this. I need you to help with that. You're not inconveniencing me. You're not bothering me. It's my response ability. Pride will get with you. Pride will prevent you from doing things that are good for you and your family, because you want to do things on your own. You want to handle the situation on your own. I get that. I just recently lived that. And tonight I'm going to come to the hard conclusion that pride was to my detriment for a couple of weeks. And now I've let that go. So I let go of personal pride, and I gain pride now for my friends and my family, how strong they are, how generous they are, how kind they are, how loving they are, how caring they are, even in their times of need. So if you're fighting with your husband, if you're fighting with your wife, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your siblings, your children, your friends, your neighbor, if you're fighting with any of them, and you've never really given 100% to fixing the problem, to giving a little bit more, then I urge you tonight to go and do that. Now, I know some of you are sitting there going, no, I've tried to fix things. I've tried my best. And if you have, you have. And I urge you not to continue to live in that situation or to be in that situation, because guess what? You people are 8 months older than you were the day I first started the Troy Show. It went by quick, didn't it? Am I right on that? 8 months?
Yeah. Actually, 9 months.
9 months. So how much happiness have you lost in your life in 9 months because you stayed in a situation you shouldn't have stayed in? How much happiness have you lost because you didn't do something that you wanted to do because someone else didn't want you to do it? So, if that's the case and you have legitimately tried, then you'll probably be helping other people in your life and other people around you to get rid of the toxic situation. But if you haven't tried, legitimately given 100,000%, swallowed your pride, given more, stop being sad for yourself and go try. Because even if you got to swallow your pride and give a little bit more than you get, you're going to be better off in the long run because you fixed the situation. If you can make somebody else happy, that should make you happy. It's give and get. Dividends. Even Pastor Rick says something along those lines. Don't expect to get what you haven't sown. You're not going to reap the benefits of something you haven't sown. Or something along those lines. What you're going through right now, whoever is listening to me, whoever hears my voice, whatever you're going through right now is bad. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to go through that. I'm here for you. You have a right to be upset. You have a right to cry. You have a right to feel self-pity. But you have a responsibility to be strong for yourself. You have a responsibility to be strong for those in your circle. Your mothers, your fathers, your children, brothers, aunts, uncles, friends. And I think you'll find that if you do that, and you make them feel better, in return they'll make you feel better. And it's a vicious cycle, but in a good way. Right? But if you can't fix it, and you have to leave it, never be alone. Because even God says, we're stronger together than apart. Two of us together are strong. A lot of us together are unstoppable. I love you. I hope you're not going through anything too terribly bad. But again, contact me if you are. And I promise, if I can offer wisdom, I'll give wisdom. If I can. But if all I can give you is an ear to bitch into, it's yours. Husbands, I want to offer this little bit of advice. I've always believed in this. Your wife loves you. Your wife needs to be around you. Your wife needs your attention and your care, your love. But there's other people in her life that she needs those same things from. Her girlfriends, her friends, even if her friends are male. Her parents, her siblings. But if your wife has a sister or two, those people are people she's going to lean on more in times of need the most. And you have to, in good times and in bad, you have to make sure that there is ample alone time. Right? There's times where she needs you. There's times when she needs other people. And sometimes you need to be able to read the situation and say, is this one of those times where she needs me right now too? If not, go do something else. Mow the lawn. Mow Jim's lawn. of you need to tell your husband it's okay to cry. Mine told me that last week. Really regretting saying that right now because I'm going to see Chris later. You need to show your husband that you're strong enough for him to be weak. At times. Children, you need to love your parents and care for your parents and respect your parents 100%. Because if your parents are going through bad things and you are being bad, you're not helping the situation, you're hindering it, therefore it's detrimental to you too. But you should want to do it out of love, respect. And friends, it's okay for friends to go somewhere and do something with other friends, just like it is husbands and wives to do things separately. No one can own another person. No one. I'm not talking about slavery. That's just stupid. We all know that's not right. Right? I'm talking about mentally. You can't mentally own someone. So stop acting like it. You can't tell your wife how to vote, who to be friends with, how often she can talk to her family, where she can go, where she can work. You can't tell her. You don't have the right. You don't have the right. Wives, maybe not worry so much about not having complete and total control over your husband's day. Moms, dads, please don't worry about having control over your children's lives the whole time. Friends, I already mentioned you. Use common sense, people. Treat somebody the way you want to be treated. You don't have to be in charge. You can be in charge of you. I like to think I'm in charge of me. I'm not. But I act like it in the mirror. I'm like, you're in charge, buddy. I just really wish that more people would treat people the way they would want to be treated, or how you would want your children to be treated, or your wife, or your husband, right? I wish you would. It would fix so many things. You're still going to have the evil people, the demons. You're going to have the Mendenses, the Oons. You're going to have them. I should have said Kim, because it's not him. But there are way more good people than bad. I believe that. And the energy you get from them is the energy you're giving to them. Quid pro quo. Right? All right. That's the end of... Oh, I said in my post, 45 years, I've never recommended a church to anybody. I would have recommended Reverend Brown's church or Corpus Christi Catholic, but those were before times of social media, or at least my usage of it. So now I'm going to tell you that if you're looking for a church, I'm not really, per se. I don't know. Weirder things have happened. Who knows? But if you are looking for a church, I can tell you that after having listened to now 2 of Pastor Rick's sermons, that if you're not a huge fan of organized religion, if you don't have a religion you were raised on, if you like being around people that are having fun and listening to good music and singing and getting a good sermon, I highly recommend the Family Christian Center in Claremont, Florida, attached to Sky Zone by the old Harley Building. I believe that's US 27 and 1.
Steve's Road?
Steve's Road. He's also available online too. Live on Sundays or repeat. My mom went to get some of her stuff out of storage in Texas this week. And my buddy Sean Kirkpatrick, my brother, went to high school with him. He sent his son and 3 of his son's friends to help my mom load the truck. What good people these people are. I mean, absolutely amazing, salt of the earth people. My mom said the boys were very respectful, worked super hard, were kind, and she was very thankful for them. And she's very thankful for Sean and Sean's continued friendship with me. But it was odd, though, thinking this boy that I went to school with, this boy that I turned into men with, his boy that's not really a boy anymore, who's now a man, was sent by him to help my mom all these years later. That's crazy. That's crazy. So thank you guys. I appreciate that 100%. All right, I think we're going to skip to a story here real quick. I told you earlier I didn't want to hear the word U-Haul again for a while, but I'm going to mention the word U-Haul. So, all these funny things happening with U-Hauls lately, and not funny things, whatever. Between our U-Haul situation and Jen and Jim's U-Haul situation and U-Haul situation and U-Haul trailer situation. I'm going to tell you probably the funniest. It wasn't funny at the time, but it's the funniest U-Haul story I have now. So several years back, probably 20 years ago, me and my buddy Andy responded to this ad in the newspaper. And by the way, Andy is the one that put on the woman's dress and danced around the living room to make everybody laugh. Right? We told you that story. So we responded to this ad to help a guy move. And we looked at it, we thought it was a misprint. The money that was involved, we were like, holy crap. So we went as fast as we could, and we talked to the guy. His name was Barry. He was a multi-millionaire. He owned the second largest apartment complex in the city limits of Dallas. I mean, he owned multiple ones, but he owned the second largest one, and the biggest of the buildings set in the far back of it, and the whole thing was his house. But he lived on property, right? Well, Barry had decided he wanted to buy and renovate this old church in Boston, and he wanted to move up there. So he did, and he hired us to come in and pack all of his stuff under his supervision, load it under his supervision, take breaks under his supervision, and then drive it to Boston, which we thought we were doing our own until the day we actually got in to drive, and he climbed in with us. Now, that actually happened a little bit before that. About an hour before that, we found out that was what was going on, or we thought. So we packed the massive U-Haul. Jim, it was the one you and I were talking about the other day that you said, the one that they had that used to be really, really big, even bigger than the big one now. We packed that. We had it loaded, ready to go. And it sat there overnight. He got us all hotel rooms, and the next morning we went back. But when we went back, we picked up the truck, and we drove it over to a U-Haul place. They put a trailer on it, a flatbed trailer, a car transport trailer, and we drove back. And we said, what are we doing? He's like, oh, the car's got to go on the trailer. Okay. So then we get the car on the trailer, and then he gets in with us, and he gets in the middle, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm riding with you guys. So I'm like, well, why don't you just drive? He goes, oh, no, I don't want to drive this thing. All right. So I get in, I crank it up, and I shut the door, and it's at that moment it dawned on me. I've got a millionaire's household items in this truck, right? It's probably at least $1 million worth of stuff. Some of the fanciest stuff I've ever seen before. And on the trailer, on the back of this truck, is a Maserati. And here I am. How old was I?
21, 22 maybe?
Yeah, 21 or 22.
Is it 20 years ago?
Maybe 23.
Here I am, a relatively young man,
Yes.
with one of my dumbest buddies with me. Dumb meaning he did stuff to amuse you.
Yes.
Right? He was very intelligent, but just did dumb stuff. Next to him was this old man that neither one of us knew for more than 5 days. And here I am about to drive his truck, his belongings, with a trailer with his Maserati on the back to Boston from Fort Myers. But fuck it. Put it in drive and we took off. We get up to south of the border in North Carolina. Everybody stops there. He's like, oh, let's stop there, right? We go in, he buys up just the dumbest things you can think of. I'm thinking, man, my God, we're going to have to run another truck for this. But he puts it in the Maserati and shuts the door. Takes some pictures on the bull and things like that. Buys us whatever we want. And we take off again. And the whole time, he keeps looking over at the speedometer. If I'm going even 2 miles an hour, he'll be like, oh, you're speeding. And I slowed it down, right? So from Fort Myers to Boston, we did this speed limit. We get to the George Washington toll bridge. We pull up to the toll. The lady's like, it's going to be $86. He's like, $86? This man gets out, counts the tires with her, but he's a millionaire. Over $86. And guess what? We paid $86. So we get up to Boston and we unload his truck and he buys us whatever we want, pays us right there on the spot, buys our plane tickets and gives us more money, and it was pretty cool. The whole experience wasn't too bad, except for the part where Mr. Law-abiding citizen says, we pull off this exit here. I'm going to take you and show you a building that I designed. All right, so we pull off the exit and we're driving. I'm like, well, so what do you mean you designed it? He's like, well, I'm an architect of it. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. She's like, okay, now turn here, take this road. And I see entering the U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C. Now, as a 20-something-year-old kid, I even assumed at that point it wasn't a good idea to drive this mother through Washington, D.C., especially after the whole Timothy McVeigh thing, right? I was nervous. He's like, no, just keep going, you're fine, you're fine. We're going to go see this building. But as we're driving, he's like, well, I designed that one. I was part designer on that one. And I'm like, well, haven't we seen it? He's like, no, I want to show you this one. We keep driving. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this damn motorcycle cop gets behind me and instantly throws his lights on. He didn't torture you like the other ones do that'll follow you like 10 miles right up to the border of Claremont, Minneola, like happened to me and Brian last week in the U-Haul. At 3 in the morning. At 3 in the morning. What are you guys doing? Moving. At 3 in the morning? Yes. Here's my stuff, please. We're tired. CP officer me. So, cop gets in behind us, throws on the lights. And of course I panic. Barry. He's like, well, just pull over. Okay, I pull over. I was nervous. I was very nervous. But my nervousness went to holy shit fear in a nanosecond when half of the police force surrounded the vehicle, told us to get out, back up to the curb, sit down in the grass. And it was that point that the whole world went just numb to me. I was like, shut everything off. They searched this truck high and low. They had dogs. They had everything you could think of. Finally, the one guy comes over to me. We're all three sitting together, and he's like, who's the driver? And I said, me. He's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm moving this guy. Who is he to you? Some guy. I don't know. We met him in the paper. Yeah, there used to be a thing called paper. So he says, well, who's the other guy? I said, that's my buddy Andy. He's like, you think it was a good idea to drive this vehicle within so many feet of the White House? I said, officer, honestly, I don't even know where the White House is, and no, that's not a good idea. Right? But then why'd you do it? Because he told me to. Right? Because this guy right here, and Barry's looking at me like, dude. So he asked for Barry's ID, asked for all our ID. Goes and runs them, and comes right back, hands Barry his ID, my ID, and he's like, all right, guys, we're going to give you an escort up here. You're going to turn left, you can go park in that spot, and then you can walk back. That's exactly what we did, but I was pissed off at Barry, right? So, and we had to put some things back on the truck. They just left right there in the grass, right? So we had to reload it. But we park because, you know, when Boss Man says park and let's walk, you park and you walk. And we go walking back, and I was super pissed off at him until we walk into this building, and I was mesmerized by this building. I'm going, oh my God, I've seen pictures of it before, right? We walk in, and sure enough, there's his name on a plaque, right? He designed it, and it was the damn Smithsonian building, right? Or one of them. So I wasn't mad at Barry anymore. But yeah, some funny things happened with U-Haul. Me and Jason were pulled over once in a U-Haul.
Maybe you shouldn't drive U-Hauls anymore.
Right? And again, just like with me and Brian, I had a gun laid in the floorboard. The cop was like, I handed him my ID when me and Brian got stopped last week. I handed him both of them. I said, I have a concealed weapons permit. I've got one on my hip and one on the floorboard. He shines the light down, and the one on the floorboard happens to be the damn tourist judge. And I'm going, oh my God. He looks at it, he's like, oh, all right, well, thanks for telling me. I'm like, thank you for being cool, man.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
It should be called U-Haul.
Right? So here it is, you got me and Brian look at us in a U-Haul at 3 in the morning with a damn hand cannon laying on the floorboard.
It still doesn't compare to our little thing in Kissimmee.
Yeah, the Kissimmee one was even worse. They wouldn't even let us put our jackets on. They took all my bullets out. I was so mad. Or the Oakland one where they did the same shit. Spread them out on the hood. Like, oh my God. Overreact much?
If we were gang members.
Yeah, gang members. What's that tattoo right there? It's for my daughter. It's not gang related? No, it's for my daughter.
Your mom just said on your way to Orlando from Texas driving a U-Haul, you called me from Atlanta and told me you took the wrong turn and went north instead of south.
Yep. I remember that. I won like $200 in Biloxi, Mississippi on that trip. Yep. Alright. People, I don't want you to think for 1 minute that because I talked about faith and God and friends and family that I'm going to get on here from now on and be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. I'm not. I hate to disappoint you if you think that's the case, but it's just not going to be the case. I'm going to say things like, fuck a Mendez, and fuck that fat bitch today. These things are going to come out of my mouth. But I believe I'm a good person, just like I believe most of you are good people. And I don't judge you for anything. Not what you do or say or wear, or who you love, or whether you're a Republican or Democrat. I love you all.
Except for people you don't.
Except for the people I don't. If I don't love you, I don't love you. That's it. And there's a reason for it. All right? So I don't want you to think that I'm going to be this goody two-shoes anymore. And I don't want you to think for 1 minute that I've given up on my mission, my goal to stop the child abuse. # no season 10. I'm going to do everything in my power legally to shut that place down, to stop them from abusing people. Right? I had high hopes that just the show's existence would at least temporarily stop them. It hasn't. All it's done is it's caused them to mind manipulate the current parents that are there and turn them against people that they're friends with or were friends with. Right? It's caused them to accept the fact that their studio owner and her mother are allowing them to cheat in competitions. Not just allowing them to cheat, but forcing them to cheat. A student that dances for 7 years in the same category as someone dancing for students dancing for 7 years in the same category as someone dancing for 3 or 4 years in competition is cheating, because these competitions have rules. These rules are simple, they're clear, they're written, they're lost.
I have a story after this.
It might be by the sink. While we're waiting on those rules, let Troy tell a story. Go ahead, buddy.
So
You gotta get close enough to the camera.
okay, so I was at Sky Zone
Face the camera.
and
Face the front. I mean, right there. No, right there.
okay. So I was at Sky Zone and I was standing at the top and I didn't have my phone because it was in the locker, and I look downstairs at this lady, right? She comes in, maybe like 40 years old, right? She comes in this like walker with wheels. Biggest person I've ever seen in my life. Just wait. She turns to, I think, like her daughter or something, and her daughter has a handbag, and she hits her daughter in the shoulder, and the daughter's like that. She reaches in, I swear, pulls out a donut, hands it to the lady. The lady starts eating it, walks down and sits on the chair, and tumbles backwards.
That's not funny. Now sit down.
And I couldn't stop laughing, and it was so bad.
It's bad.
All you hear was "Doo-doo."
That's horrible.
I said,
It is kind of funny when people fall, though.
I said,
It is.
it made this.
It's funny when I fell.
It made the building
Well,
shake. I said that's gonna be Shanae in a couple days.
True.
Stress eating,
No,
Waddle-
her fat ass.
waddling around competitions.
Did you see the stage moving violently when she was trotting across it?
I wasn't there.
After
Holy shit.
Carolyn had a seizure on stage.
Troy.
Do you want me to read your
Y'all
award?
remember that show Bill Cosby used to do called Kids Say the Darndest Things? So tell me, little Troy, what do you think about this? So you want some pudding?
No.
Shut up!
Would you like me to
No.
tell you your award?
Anyways,
Let's talk about the state.
let's go back to the rules. So I said that a student dancing for 7 years in the same category as a child dancing for 3 or 4 years in a competition is cheating. I have proof of that. Here are the rules for 2021 for that competition. These are available online. Anybody can access these rules. If for some reason you can't, let me know. I've got a few copies. We've got Nova, which I'm being told is this competition's level of novice,
Beginner, whatever.
beginner. We've got Classic, which I'm being told is primary, right?
Like a middle.
Middle primary. Then we've got Select, which I'm being told is the same as secondary or elite, right?
Yeah. Top. Like the top.
Top.
The most experience.
Right. So the Nova is a recreational dancer. Dancer who performs in 8 or less routines from every division, excluding their first 3 lines, mega lines, may be considered Nova. Dancers who have little or no competition experience and or take less than 6 hours of dance class per week are Nova level. Let's go to Classic. This says that they can't be in any more than 12 or any less than 12, or they can be in less than 12, excluding the lines, whatever. Dancers who have limited competition experience and or take less than 10 hours of dance a week. Let's go to their highest one. This is our advanced level, it says. Dancers who perform in 13 or more routines for every division, excluding their first 3 lines and mega lines, will automatically be placed in Select. Dancers who have significant competition experience and or take more than 10 hours of dance class per week should be in the Select category, regardless of their routine count. I didn't make them. The competition made them because it says competition 2021 rules. But apparently a dance studio owner, teacher, choreographer, I can't get that one out right. Choreographer.
You said it right.
Oh, but she's not.
Oh.
She's not. That's what makes it funny. She's not. She thinks she is, but she's not. 9 years in business, right? 8.5 of those, 8 3/4 of those, illegally in business, but in business. A steady
Competitions from day one.
Competitions from day one. 9 years. Someone that damn sure knows better. So the last competition before last, at the detriment of her children, she puts them in the highest division. She doesn't care what they score personally. She doesn't care the trophies or accolades that they receive or the criticism that they might receive. All she does is puts them in that higher category so that she can receive secondary studio as a
Studio
competition.
of excellence.
Studio of excellence. A bought award. Bought and paid for. Because if you have the most students entered, if you have the most dances entered in the secondary, you automatically, by default, no matter how much better other studios did from you, by default, you become champion. Money. You bought that. You bought that, and then you had it piss poorly printed on the back of a t-shirt that makes you look like a butt pirate.
Wonder who did that.
Right. Another bald-headed midget butt pirate. But now, going into this competition, because you're trying to deceive your current parents, you're trying to deceive them by making them think that you are the best, that you are the best for their money, that you are the best for their children, that you are better after 9.5 years of business than a studio that's been open for almost 2 months.
Right.
You enter them in categories that you know damn well they don't belong in. It's cheating. Just like cheating for you to get your studio of excellence, you're cheating now to try to prove to the parents that you're the better selection, right? To try to pull the proverbial wool over their eyes and make them think you don't sit on the floor and eat instead of teach
She
their
is
kids.
the bigger selection.
So you enter them in false categories. You cheat to get them higher accolades, to look better to your customers, your money, your bread and butter. But we know what those kids should be in. And so do you. And so do their parents. Shame on you parents for letting that happen. But I understand that you're just manipulated by your cult leader. You're distracted by your demon. Right? I'm not talking about all the thick patches of strawberry frosted flake on Paul, or his bald head, or Susan's balls, or Shanae's fatness. I'm talking about you're distracted by thinking you're doing what's best for your children. You think that keeping them up there is best for them, right? It's not. You're wrong. Go somewhere. Go somewhere that's going to teach them the most important thing. Have fun, don't cheat. Have fun, don't cheat. Losing fairly, losing fair and square is way more honorable than winning by cheating. So, clear a space for your trophies by discarding other trophies from other kids' hard work, other human trade commodities work into the garbage can, and make room for your new ill-gotten trophies. But look at them with a sense of shame. Because you are a shameful person. You are a distraction demon. Right? Now, Pastor Rick would say amen to something. I say right. Right?
Right.
Right.
Right. I struggle with my good and my evil. I struggle to find the balance. Susan, Shanae, Paul, there's no struggle in you. You know damn well what you are. You embrace it. You encourage it. You nurse it. You are evil. You've teamed up with some of my enemies, thinking that you're going to prevail. In reality, you're all going to lose. Caleb, you're going to lose. Bill, you're going to lose. Susan, you're going to lose. Paul, you're going to lose. Shanae, you're going to lose everything But wait.
Do you think her fatness is taking over her brain?
Quite possible. Paul drove by the studio today and didn't shoot me the finger. Instead, he looked over at me and my friends standing out front laughing and talking and realized that every single one of us used to be under his family's cult control. But he lost. And he kept driving. It was a beautiful thing. It makes me so happy to know that you hate me so much. Your hate for me makes me grow stronger every day.
And you're a better person.
You keep me going by hating me. You keep me motivated by lying about me. You keep me winning by teaming up with my enemies and trying to cause my family harm or distress or sadness. I pity you. You are a weak, insignificant soul. When your friends come over to your house, they don't. When you and your family get together, you don't. You're a clusterfuck of evil. I can match you evil for evil. But in the end, it's my good side that's going to defeat you. I'll give you a hell of a go with my evil, but my good is going to defeat you. Our good is going to defeat you. The smiles of all these kids that you've hurt are going to defeat you. The laughter of every parent whose child you degraded. And I'll be standing there, looking at you, smiling, knowing that you wish me death. I love it. I love it. We have anything from the audience?
Cheryl said that Susan is the piece of shit that shoots the bird. She wasn't in the car protecting him.
True.
Bet you he ran out of air horn air.
True. Listen, people, if I've hurt you, if I've ever hurt you, please know that I'm truly sorry. Please know that I never did it deliberately or maliciously. Unless you hurt me and mine first. If you need me, call me. I'll always be there. If I've ever said anything bad to you or about you, please forgive me. I too fell victim to my demons. I forgive all of you for saying anything bad about me and mine. I forgive those of you who don't have the courage to leave. And I forgive myself. Finally, for not having the courage to leave. For not having the courage to remove my kids. Because it's made them stronger people. And we've now become a full force to be reckoned with. All right, people, I'm going to end this episode the same way I end every episode. What? Oh, what is this? Anybody know what this is?
I do.
You want to read it?
It is the VIP Division Performance Award
Yeah.
for our group dance, Something New, that the judges felt important enough to give an award. We also got a division award for, can I say, a soloist's lyrical division award also.
Awesome.
I don't know if I can say her name or not, so
Right.
I'm not going to, but
Come in the studio and check it out.
Or you could go on the Full Force page on Facebook, Full Force Dance Academy. All our awards are announced.
Right, we do try to keep the Troy show separate from other things. So if we don't already have someone's permission to mention their name, we don't.
Well, it's already been said, and I'm assuming her mom says, Cheryl said, yes, Shayla, go Shayla.
Awesome.
You also got
And we got 2 costume awards and 2 top 10s.
That's right. A costume award, amazing.
Yes.
I'm being told it's her very first costume.
Yes.
Even though she offered to do it for someone else years ago. So good job with that. Good job to everybody, by the way. So proud of you all. I can't wait to see you dance again
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Ooh.
Good luck to all of the kids dancing. I want you to all have fun. What I said about you cheating does not apply to you. You're children. You have no choice.
They don't do it.
Right.
Studio owner does it.
So you all get out there and dance your little hearts out. Do the best you can. Have fun. Have fun. I mean, you know, you're braver than I am. All of you. I wouldn't get on that stage and dance. I wouldn't.
Janae couldn't.
I wouldn't. Shanae couldn't. I wouldn't. So you are all my heroes, and thank you for giving me strength by watching how strong you are.
Sabrina says we are stronger together.
Yes, absolutely. Stronger together. Thank you very much. I feel like I need to have one more drink of my orange juice on the show. A cheers to everyone. Going to be leaving here in a few minutes and going having a few more drinks with some friends of ours. And then tomorrow, an exciting day. So good luck to everybody.
Yes.
I think I know how we can become millionaires.
Well, don't say it live on the camera.
We can solve world hunger.
Okay, let's hear it. How?
We need to somehow figure out a way for Shanae to not eat anymore.
just raid their car.
That would open up a lot of food availability. Supply and demand would switch. Are you ever going to need me? Is there a hurricane coming and you're going to need us to help? Or are we going to need you?
I'm gonna need you tomorrow.
I know who's
Backstage
gonna need
Need you
you.
tomorrow? I'm going to need you guys.
I know who's gonna need you.
Who?
Paul and Susan if Shanae falls down the stairs again.
And the fireman.
But if you think you're going to need me, you better treat me right. But if you think you're not going to need me, you should treat me right. I want to treat you right. I want you to treat everybody in your life right. Especially yourselves, right? Do things for yourselves and don't feel bad about it, okay? If you want to get shit-faced drunk and talk about ice cream drinks while your daughter records you without your knowledge or permission, you go right ahead and good for you.
Hey, it's Florida. Only one person needs to know you're recording,
That's
and I
true.
knew.
That's true.
And your mom says, how about them El Phoenix chips and salsas?
Just bring-
Oh, we just had some. As a matter of fact, I got to introduce 4 new people tonight to the infamous El Phoenix chips and hot sauce that my mom was kind enough to send me from Dallas this week. I was very generous with 1 bag and 1 jar. The other ones are mine. No, I'll share.
That's not true. You'll share them.
Yeah. To everybody who has helped my family in this situation, thank you. I hope to repay you someday. Thank you for helping us get through this and for giving us the strength to push on to our court date where we know justice will be served. Thank you for sticking around and watching this dumbass show. And thank you for being in our lives. That's to our friends and our family, right? We could not have done it without you. And we love you. So, we go ahead and end it?
Yes.
You want the award?
No. Well, I'll let you do that. So, I'm going to end it the way I always do, people. I'm going to tell you that I love you. I'll always love you. I'll be here for you next Friday. I'll always be here for you. Jim will be back soon. I want you to treat each other with love, kindness, and respect. Unless you're dealing with a Mendez. Tell them. I can't wait till next Friday, because that means I get to talk to all of you again. But while we wait for Friday, and while I look for my damn...
It's up towards the top. Second one.
Hey, Daddy, you want to know a fact?
Yeah.
Paul's short.
He is short, he is bald, and he is a chicken shit coward.
And he doesn't.
So, don't forget, while you're being nice and kind to each other, while you're helping each other, make time for yourself. And always, always make time for the bad guy. I love you, Jim. Drive safe.
Yeah, I'm a gangster from East Side, Norway. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been passing it out for so long that even all the things that my mind is called, but I ain't never
Angie, thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great night. Marilyn, thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great night. Cheryl, Alex, Molly, thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great night. Jen, thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great night. Mom, I love you. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Sabrina, thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great night. Who else? Nick, thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. I did have a donut, by the way. It was in my orange juice bottle. I love you, buddy. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Jim, I'm sure you're listening. Thank you. Have a great night. Pam, I love you. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Laura, thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great night. Kathy, I love you. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Dylan, thanks for watching. Edward Service, thanks for watching, buddy. I love you. Have a great night. Wally, thanks for watching. I love you, buddy. Have a great night. Trying to go through here. Laura, thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great night. Listen, people, if I missed you, don't take it personally. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.